crossroads.ca/hope. And now let's head over to Lorna with her guest.
Okay, team, thank you very much. And one of the wonderful things that happens when context sits in a big basket like Crossroads is we are in the trusted place where people know this is what it means to be a good neighbor, to care. With me right now is Pastor Olu Jegede. Pastor Olu, I was shocked. You're across the street from one of the biggest fires ever in the city of Toronto, where 700 families were displaced. This is just 2.5 weeks ago.
Yes.
Tell us about the Gosford fire, the scope of this.
Oh, well, Lorna, it's massive. I was actually out of the area at the time it happened, but my assistant had called me and all my staff and everybody were outside watching.
You're at your daughter's school.
Yes,
they're outside
that's
watching.
Right. They're outside watching, and you could see the inferno. And apparently it was just a little fire on the one unit. And then after a few minutes, an ambulance, they're coming, but all of a sudden there was like an explosion that they could hear from downstairs. And then it just sort of went into an inferno and things just went to another level.
Okay, so this is, what shocked me, I guess, about is the neighborliness, or in this case, the lack of neighborliness. Yeah. You know, it's a huge fire, hundreds of families displaced, currently displaced just before Christmas, and it's hardly a ripple, the need. Why do you think that's happening?
Well, I don't know, Lorna. I think unfortunately, it's a sign of the times that we live in. I think there's a lot of sort of red tape and bureaucracy and protocol, but at the end of the day, we realize that you have these 700 people that are displaced and something needs to be done about it. Someone needs to take responsibility. And this is where we as a church said we have to help. We have to do something, whatever we can do. But it is quite unfortunate.
We were delighted at Context to be able to interview you last week on site at the church, to put that up, to get our viewers carrying the links on there to also your church, to the Toronto District School Board. Tell me about the role of the church. Are you going to see any of those neighbors? Are you going to be able to, do you think they'll cross over and church will be a refuge in this incredibly traumatic time?
Yeah, I really hope so. I know that when the fire first happened, we tried to go over to the shelter, but it was in the hands of the Red Cross, and so we were limited in what we could do directly. And so we decided to take another approach, and let's help those in our church. We have probably about 3 or 4 families who attend our church who were directly affected by being out of their homes. And so we've helped to pay for some Airbnb fees. We've helped to feed some families, and just really to help and to be a place of refuge in terms of emotional and material help. So that's what we're doing at this point for the people that we know. As well, we hosted a community dinner. It wasn't just our church responsible. Some of the agencies in the community 2 weeks ago approached me as I was walking into one of the community centers in the city, and they said, Pastor, if we were to come up with the whole menu and everything, would you be able to host us and give us free space in your church to bring these victims together? And I said, sure, let's make it happen. And so we hosted this community dinner about a week ago today. And so we're trying to do things that we can that come up spontaneously, to just be a good neighbor, to just say yes to when they're asked.
Okay, Pastor Olu Jegede, thank you so much. Your information is on our website. If you want to connect with Pastor Olu's church to help the people of the Gosford fire, it's still a very traumatic time. And Pastor Olu, I want to say thank you to our viewers, because this is what, whether it's Context or Huntley Street or any of the other programs we produce here, we've got to be good neighbors.
Yes,
we've got to use this broadcast to care for this country, coast to coast. Okay, team, back to you.
Thanks.